A of question 1, it's just a quick one marker. It wants us to find the depth of the water. We've got this trigonometric function here that represents the depth of the water, which is obviously going to flow up and down, if you can imagine, kind of like a sine wave, which is why we've got a trig function. It wants us to find the depth of the water when the boat enters the harbour. The boat enters the harbour at 6:30, and T is the time in hours after midnight, or the number of hours after midnight. So that will be 6.5 hours. So when T is 6.5, we're in degrees, notice. So D is going to be 5 plus 2 sine of 30 times 6.5. Make sure your calculator's in degrees. And just type that in. So 5 plus 2 sine 30 times 6.5. And I've got 4.48. It says that the boat can only leave the harbour when the water is at least 3.8 metres deep. So we need to make the depth 3.8 metres. But the other thing to remember is that the boat can't leave, the very earliest the boat can leave the harbour is at 8:30. So we want the first time after 8:30 that the boat can leave the harbour. So we need a value where T is greater than 8.5. So the first one, maybe even the second one, might be no good to us. Anyway, let's solve this equation. So we're going to subtract the 5. Minus 1.2, divide by 2, minus 0.6. And if I do the inverse sine of 0.6, or negative 0.6, sorry, I'm going to get negative 36.87. Now this is a 30t value, don't forget, so we're going to be dividing that value by 30. So the first problem is that that's a negative number, so that's no good to us. So we found a value down here. We're interested in these two values. These might be good to us. So how would I find that one? I'm going to need to do 180 plus 36.9, which is 216.9. Remembering I'm going to divide that by 30. If I divide that by 30, I get 7.2. That's no good to me. That's not bigger than 8.5. So I'm going to need the next one again, which will be 360 more than this one. So if I go back to that minus 36.9, and then add 360 onto that, that's going to be 323.1. That one's going to be the one we want. That's going to be the good one. So the t values, that's no good to me. I've already checked that one. That was 7.2. That's no good to me. But if I now divide my 323 by 30, I get 10.77. So that's 10.7, not degrees, 10.77 hours after midnight. It wants a time. Find to the nearest minute the earliest time. So I can't write 10.77 hours. I need to know what 0.77 of an hour is in minutes. So if I take off my 10 and times by 60, that gives me 46 minutes. So the time is 10:46 a.m. That's the time that they can leave the harbour.